Hi, it's Nell, and today I'm going to be showing you how to plant aloe vera in a container. The steps I go through, there's very few of them, and also the mix I use, and a recommendation or two for you, and also how I care for it immediately after the planting, transplanting, or repotting, whatever you want to call it. So stick around. We are going to be heading soon to the back of my garden where the container and the aloe vera plants are. So one thing that's very important to know about aloe vera and the mixed use for aloe vera is that aloe vera stores water in its leaves. That's that gel, and that's of course what we want. And it also has very thick roots that store water also. So you want a mix that drains really well, because this plant is very prone to rotting out like a lot of succulents, because aloe vera is a succulent. I would say all succulents. You don't want to keep them too wet. So that's why you want a nice chunky mix that's aerated and that drains really, really well and really fast. So when to do the planting or the transplanting? Spring and summer are great times. I'm in Tucson where it's still very warm. We're in the low to mid 80s. This is the end of October, so it's fine for me to do it now. Also too, aloe vera is a very tough landscape plant here, so it does great outdoors, so I don't have to worry about that. I probably wouldn't want to do it in December or January, but otherwise it's fine. But as a house plant, spring and summer are great times. Oh, and as usual, there is a blog post to go along with this video. The link will be down below and also on our website, joyousgarden.com. I've done a few posts on aloe vera, posts and videos. I will leave the links to those down below. First of all, I want to show you the queen vine is blooming, and can you see all the bees flying around it? They just love the flowers. I just love the sound of them buzzing away, enjoying the pollen. Okay, so this is the area of my garden that I'm working on this fall. And I just bought some different types of basil at our farmer's market, so I'm going to get that in. But here's what I have. I have worm compost. I have compost. Now this is a local one. And then this is new succulent and cactus mix. And this is a bag I keep of succulent and cactus mix that's come out of other containers, but it's good to use in the bottom third or so for like a big old pot like that. It just kind of fills it in at the bottom. And there is the aloe vera plant, the mother plant, you know, the one that the raccoon knocked over, that knocked all the leaves off. And then there is a pot of babies that came off this mother plant. So I'm going to put the family back in the same pot. Oh, and the little agave there and the haworthia are not going in this pot. One of them is going in a succulent bowl, and that one is going back in the pencil cactus container. So here is the succulent and cactus mix I use. It is locally produced here in Tucson. It has pumice. Those are those big white chunks, and that really helps with the drainage. It also has coconut coir chips, and it has some of Tank's local compost in here. So it's a good mix, and the cocoa coir is also an aerator, and it helps to hold the nutrition. But because it has those big chunks, it also aids in the drainage. There are all sorts of succulent cactus mixes on the market. If you think yours is too heavy, if it's not going to drain well, be sure to add some pumice or some perlite to it. You can buy those too separately. I will leave links to them in the blog post, because especially indoors, you want to make sure it is very well drained, because it could rot out. You can also use potting soil if you're going to be planting it indoors, and you can use half succulent cactus mix, half potting soil, or you can use potting soil if you just have one small pot of aloe vera, and just be sure and add some of the pumice and the perlite to it so that it drains really, really well and the roots don't stay too wet. Alrighty, so I have some of the older mix. It's not that old. It was probably planted for about 9 months, so it's not old, but it's in up to about here. But you can just use all fresh mix, especially if you have a smaller pot. I would. But here's some of the new fresh mix, and at this time I'm going to go ahead and add some compost. You don't need to do this, but because this grows outside as a landscape plant, I want to add some compost in it. I'm going to add it probably like a half an inch and then mix it in. I'm not going to add too much on the top because it is the end of October. So in the spring, I will give this a much bigger dose of worm compost and compost on the top, a top dressing. That's how I fertilize my succulents, or how I feed my succulents, I should say. So, okay, that is all mixed in there, and now I'm going to get the mother in, and with the babies, I'm probably going to divide the babies. So that is the next step for me. Aloe vera, because it does store so much water, is a heavy plant. Even this small pot is pretty heavy. It's like, whoa. But there are a lot of pups in here. That all came off of her, and she's producing more. So I need to build this up a little bit. I'm going to put this larger plant in the back. Ooh. Let's get it up. I want it up even more because the weight of this plant is going to sink in the mix. So I'm going to get some more of the mix in here just to, oops. So that was another oops gardening moment. I just grabbed the closest bag and it was compost, and I didn't want to add any more compost, so I had to take it out. So this is just the succulent and cactus mix. Gonna get a little more of that in there. Oops. Okay. Oh, that bird just made a really shrill noise. Okay, so that's about what I want there. Boy, I'm gonna have to prop this up because it just wants to fall. It's so heavy. Blah. But okay, so there we go. I'm gonna just see if it's gonna stand up on its own now. No, you're not, are you? Okay, so sometimes you have to grab what's closest to get the plant to do what you want it to do. Okay, so I went in the garage to get some more mix, which I might even need more, but it's a full bag, so I didn't want to drag it all the way back here. But I grabbed a stake too, because just know when aloe vera gets to be this big, if you're working with it, it's very heavy. And I also want to show you this here. It is time to repot this one because the roots are growing out of the bottom and it's just growing so tight. So I'm just gonna do this, and this might be what you need to do to get yours out of the pot too. But see those roots? It's just very, very tight in there. So it's gonna be happy to have some room to grow. And let's see how oh my goodness. I may have to go get my saw. Let's see how this goes. Okay, well, I'm gonna work on getting, oops, hey, it may not be as bad as I thought. I'm gonna work on getting this apart. Hopefully it's gonna cut right in half. Yay! It did. I love it when it does this, especially when you're on camera. And I don't know if I had that really in the frame, so I just wanted to show you those roots, those thick fleshy roots, and also how it divided fairly nicely in half. And aloe vera grows very fast here in Tucson. This is going to grow a bit taller, but it clumps. It forms babies and it clumps. As I said, these are babies off of the mother. There was also another pot of babies which I gave away. So, as I say, aloe vera is the plant that keeps on giving. Okay, so I'm going to get this one over here, but oops, need to raise it up a bit. Get that in there. Fortunately, this mix is nice and light, so it's easy to move around. Oh, there's that bird. So here's what we got going on so far. It's a little hard to prop those up, but boy, this is going to be one full aloe vera pot in a year. Ooh, I'm going to have a lot of aloe vera. Oh, speaking of aloe vera and leaves getting big, my next video is how I use aloe vera and also how I store it in the refrigerator. So stay tuned for that. I don't use it like 40 different ways. I think I only have 6 or 7 different ways I use it. Okay, so I just spilled the mix all over my legs. That's good, huh? I put the apron on to keep clean, but it didn't work. Okay, so here I had a little bit of not a struggle, but just a little bit of a challenge because the plants are heavy and they wanted to flop over. But I could have divided each of these into individual plants, but this is fine. I'm just leaving them in 2 clumps. It gives them room to grow. They're going to produce pups because that's what aloe vera does. This pot will be full in no time, so I will have a nice supply of aloe vera. So I'm just going to pat it down a little bit just to anchor this aloe vera in here a bit. And the good thing to know about aloe vera is that it roots in fast. It roots in and grabs pretty fast. Like within a week, these will be anchored on in. And so that's good to know about that. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of worm compost on because, as I said, it is fall. So I'm going to put probably just about 1/8 of an inch on the top. Zoom in so you can see the nice plump leaves of the aloe vera. And that's how you want them to look. This is a really healthy one. It grows in bright shade. That's why it is so nice and green. In the sun here in Tucson, it's a very pale green, or when it's really hot, it'll turn a bronzy color. But this, because it's back here, is gonna look like this all the time. So a quick recap here for planting aloe vera. You fill the pot up to the desired height. You can measure it against the root ball and do it that way. And then you fill in around, add a little compost, fill in some more until the pot is full. And as I said, I plant the plants up a little bit because the weight of them is going to sink down in this light succulent cactus mix. And then I put a little light layer of worm compost on the top. Aloe vera is a very tough plant indoors and outdoors, and planting it, repotting it, or transplanting it is not hard at all. It can be a little bit of a challenge because of the weight of the plant, but nothing that you can't do. And the other thing that's good to know about aloe vera when working with it, if you break a leaf, ooh, you're gonna get a smell. It's quite a pungent smell. This one broke off when I took it out of the pot about 5 days ago and healed it in here, and ooh, because it was a big leaf, it was stinky. So it's not anything that you're doing wrong with your aloe vera plant. It just has this smell. And again, don't forget to check the blog post that goes along with this video for more details. The link will be down below and on our website, joysgarden.com. I hope you have found this video to be helpful. Aloe vera is a really useful plant to have around, and plus I think it's attractive. So It's a plant with purpose. That's beautiful. But anyway, I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes. I truly appreciate them. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so please stay tuned for those. I'm following this one up with another aloe vera video. And let's see. Oh yes, let's get out in our gardens or into our indoor gardens and make our worlds a more beautiful place. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.